Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kay and I'm the owner and creator behind Hot Mess Homemade. If you are interested in crochet content, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below so you don't miss any future content. So, I have another roundup video for you today. As you saw, this is Christmas slash winter patterns. And for this video, I made sure that all these patterns were free. No, I have nothing against buying patterns. I have plenty of patterns that I bought. I just know that when you're first starting out, a lot of times free patterns are the way to go because you don't know if you're gonna like crocheting like that. And of course, as you go on, as you get better at crocheting, then we start buying patterns and supporting those other small creators who are lovely pattern writers and who write all these awesome patterns for us. I want to start doing my pattern roundup videos just a little bit different. I'm going to let you know what colors I used, how long it took me because I am not a fast crocheter at all. And there are some of these took a while because there's a lot of detail in some of these. And then for my opinion, I will tell you what I feel like the difficulty level is. The difficulty level for me depends on how easy the pattern was to understand. Because let me tell you, some people do not write very understandable patterns. Can you figure it out? Yes. If you are a more advanced crocheter, you've made millions of different patterns. We can all figure things out sometimes, but I feel like for some beginners, it might be a little bit harder. So, the colors I used, the time it took me, and the difficulty level is what I will be letting y'all know today. And that's the other thing, too. I try so hard, so hard, so hard to make sure that these patterns are all by different creators. However, I have a few by the same creator only because I found one pattern I was looking for, fell in love with another pattern that she had, and then another pattern that I had um when I went to go do it, the website, it was not a pattern at all. It was someone kind of trying to, I guess, sell the pattern as their own, but it wasn't. Because then later, when I went to find another pattern to try, I found the same pattern that I wanted to do. However, it was by the creator that I already had two patterns by. So I try my hardest to make all of these by different creators. However, this video does have three patterns by one creator. For today, every single one of these is a free pattern. We have 10 patterns today. I'm so excited to show you guys these. So let's get started. Pattern number one is this awesome pattern by the Friendly Red Fox. I was looking for a cute little reindeer pattern, and let me tell you, it turned out so stinking cute. Look how cute the tail is. I just cannot get over how cute this turned out. The colors that I use, the brown is almond butter, and everything that I made is in Parfait Chunky. Again, I'm a Parfait Chunky like junkie. There you go, Parfait Chunky junkie. Um, most of my stuff is in Parfait Chunky, and if it's not in Parfait Chunky, it's in, now my other favorite is Parfait Plush, or the comparable to Parfait Plush is Sweet Snuggles Light. Anything bigger than that, it's too big. It's too much for me. But anyway, so the almond butter is the light brown. Then espresso for the antlers, emerald for the scarf, poppy for the nose. So super cute. I love this reindeer pattern. And then included in this pattern is also a moose. The head is a little bit different and the antlers are different in a different color. Um, super cute, super like, you know, wintry, Christmassy. But I had to make Rudolph. There was no doubt about it. Super cute. I absolutely love the way this turned out. And this cute little guy, I would say fairly easy, not very quick. Again, I'm a slow crocheter. This took me about 3 hours and 15 minutes. So, but again, I'm also like obsessed with detail. It has to be like um difficulty level for this one, I would say intermediate, just because there were parts of this pattern that were a little confusing or a little off, where I feel like you'd have to have some kind of experience to figure it out. One thing that I do know is with the ears, she tells you to do your magic ring, put your stitches in your magic ring, and then after that it says do not close. But then in the picture, she has the magic ring closed because you have to do, I believe it was 8 and then increase. And then after that, on the second round, you do not close because you chain one and you flip it and go back and make this like pointed part. And then it's sewn together and sewn onto the head. So I don't know what she meant by do not close the magic ring on the ears, but yes, close your magic ring on the ears. Um, and I think that's all I can think of. So I would say intermediate for this one, or advanced beginner. Someone who knows that, you know, parts of the pattern might be a typo or whatever. Um, Same thing with the legs. She has you do two legs and attach them, and then two legs and attach them. And then there's one where, like, one side she has you add to it. So it makes like the stomach wider, but the other side you don't add to it. You Once you add the row to it, then you connect them together. But the way she made it sound, like after telling you to just add a row on one side, it made it sound like, you know, put those two added rows together. So it took me some time. I feel like this is another reason it took me 3 hours and 15 minutes, because it took me some time to figure out the pattern and to figure out what she was talking about. Regardless, super cute. I love the way it came out, you know. Um just the pattern writing was a little difficult to understand in some places, but definitely worth it for sure. And for our next one, the next one I did, um, you know, like I said, Christmas slash winter. Um, so I found this cute little penguin pattern. Um, this is by DIY Fluffies. Um, yes, it was easy to understand. However, some of it I'm not so sure. Like when she was doing her color changes, she tells you to, instead of, like, you know, most of us leave the color loose inside and that kind of becomes our stuffing. But she was actually crocheting, like when she switched from white to blue, blue to white, whatever, she would crochet that tail in. And yes, it keeps it from getting all crazy inside. But I also feel like, let's see, I don't know if you can see this. When I switched from white to blue and I was crocheting, you can see the white through the stitches. And I wasn't very fond of that. So I'm just gonna keep doing it the way I was doing it, and you know, drop the color and pick it up later. And then I don't know what happened here. I don't know if that was a me mess up or if it was just something in the pattern. But you can see like this side of the belly curves out like it's supposed to, but this curves in. So I don't know if it was something I did or if it's just, I don't know, because in her picture, um, I don't see that. Not this bad anyway, you know. So super cute, super quick. Pretty sure it was no sew. The colors that I used were blue, white, tangerine for the little feet, and then sunshine for the beak. So, and again, no sew, something quick and easy that can be done. But she also had a cute little hat that you could put on it or a little flower that you could attach to it. I just thought it was cute just like this. The penguin took me 1 hour and 18 minutes to complete. And then difficulty level for this one, I would say beginner because it is super quick and easy. The only thing is, again, like I said, the color changes and then putting it underneath, I wouldn't do that. Just because, I don't like, you can literally see a white band that goes through the blue just because I put the white underneath the blue stitches. All right, and the next one, number 3. I just looked. The creator that I had for 3 of these patterns is the next 3 in a row. Anyway, number 3. I thought this was so cute. I've done other snowman patterns, but this one just, I don't know, it stuck out to me and it's a lot bigger than most. Um, this cutie patootie is by Wonder Crochet. Um, Again, white, and I used azure for the hat and the scarf, tangerine for the nose, and I didn't write it down, but I think this is fog, the lighter gray. And the hat does come off. So cute. Um, and then of course, safety, little mini safety eyes for the buttons. This guy took me 2 hours and 46 minutes for everything. Um, just because it's fairly bigger, and then all the accessories and everything that go along with it. So, but I would definitely say this is a beginner pattern. She does a really good job of making sure you understand. And there is literally, I was gonna say literally no sew. The only thing you sew on is the nose. That is it. Because this little pom pom up here, the hat starts in white and you make the little pom pom and then continue in blue. It is not separate, it's not sewn on. The scarf is pretty easy. It's just a chain and then I believe double crochets going back down the chain and makes the cute little scarf. So definitely beginner friendly, super cute. I love this guy. Alright, the next one I thought was super duper cute. And this is the one, see, I went and found the snowman first, and then when I found the snowman, I also saw that Wonder Crochet had the most adorable elf pattern. Let me show you. Is he not super cute? I absolutely love it. Everything is sewn on. The hat is sewn in place. However, I did a horrible job sewing. It's crooked in the back. Um, but I love the way that everything turned out. Like his outfit is adorable. I believe that's the only thing you have to sew on is the hat. Everything else is no sew. Um, I believe. I don't think I sewed the arms on. I might have. I can't tell if they're crocheted in or if they're sewn on. I'm horrible. I can't remember. I might have had to sew them on. I think I did have to sew the arms on. But if that's, then that's it. The arms and the hat. um, because the hair is surface crocheted, the ears are surface crocheted, and of course the legs are, part of the pattern. The colors that I used for this guy, the green is emerald, the red is cardinal, and then of course you have your white, and then the skin color I used shell. And then for the hair I used sunshine, I believe. Yes. Let's see. I would say beginner for sure. I feel like Wonder Crochet is one of those, like, she loves to teach people how to crochet. So I feel like a lot of her patterns are very beginner friendly, very understandable. Um, you start with the green, then you switch red, white, red, and I think, yeah, that's it. And then you fasten off, make the other one with the green, and then red, white, red. And then I believe, yeah, I don't know. I can't tell if I connected it with the red or what. I think I connected it with the white. And then, of course, red, and then white and green for the shirt. And like I said, I believe the arms are sewn on. Um, Super cute. The only thing was doing the ears. Like, if you can tell, this one is the right way because it's facing this way, like it's bent this way. But this one, I think I did it backwards because it goes backwards instead of forward like it's supposed to. Um, so I would definitely say pay attention when you're doing the ears and make sure you have. I don't think she explains which way to hold it or how to do it. Um, but obviously from experience, I'll know for next time to make sure that the ear is the correct way. But yeah, super cute. This only took me about 2 hours and 10 minutes. Um, Definitely beginner. Wonder Crochet has a lot of free patterns to help y'all out, and they're super cute. So make sure you check her out. The next one, I think we are on to number 5 already. I found this cute Christmas tree. And then when I went to go do it, I went on the website, and when I started it, it starts off with, like, oh, you do your magic ring with this many, and then, your increase around, but it was more in like paragraph style instead of like each round like we're used to. And then I got like the top part of it done, like the first section of the tree done. And then it was like, just continue to do that around, and then you'll have your tree. And I'm like, wait a minute, this isn't right. um, so this was not an actual pattern. I feel like it was someone trying to skirt around using someone else's pattern for their blog, but not actually using the pattern, if that makes sense. Um, but anyway, when I went looking for another Christmas tree pattern, I actually found something that looks exactly like this one by Wonder Crochet, and it's the actual pattern. So this is Wonder Crochet's Christmas tree. She actually, it's a Christmas tree pillow, and in the pillow picture, this is the pillow. There's another section. There's 4 sections. She made it bigger. And I believe she made it in, I don't know. She used a thicker yarn to make it more of a pillow to make it bigger. Um, but she also has instructions on if you want to make a smaller one with size 6 yarn. Again, Parfait Chunky. I'm a Parfait Chunky junkie. Um, but she wrote in, like, not really paragraph style, but like bullet points. If you want to make a smaller one, it tells you to stop after round 21 so you don't put that extra and make it longer. The feet are the same, everything else is the same. The star is different. For the bigger tree, she has you make 2 and stuff it. For the little one, she just has you make 1 star and sew it on the front. So this baby only took me an hour and 15 minutes. Definitely beginner. Like I said, I feel like all of Wonder Crochet's patterns are more beginner friendly. um, yeah, I thought it was super cute instead of having, I just think it's so cute. A little jelly cat Christmas tree. So, oh, colors that I use. I used emerald for the green, sunshine for the star. This is poppy, the garland, and teddy bear for the feet. So, super quick and easy. All right. 5 down, 5 more to go. This next one is by Quack House Crochet. You can find her mini candy cutie pattern on her Instagram. I took in her mini pattern, she has a bunch of different colors. I took and just made it all white. And then this red is not part of the pattern. I just added that in to make it look like a peppermint candy. Um, but again, I feel like with the candy cutie pattern, you can do pretty much whatever you want, to make it look like any candy you want to make it look like. Again, the mini version is free on her Instagram. She does have a bigger version. You can go back and look in some of my past videos when I did the pattern test for her. They're a lot bigger. They're like this big around. So super cute. I love these things. Um, this only took me 38 minutes to finish. I know I probably shouldn't have taken that long, but the easiest, fastest part is the main part, and then it's no sew. You don't have to sew these on, but it is a little challenging, especially when you're doing it for the first time, getting these in the right place and where you want them. The colors that I used obviously were white, and then the red is cardinal. Beginner for sure. The only stitches that you need to know for this are single crochet and half double crochet. Other than that, it's super easy. On to the next one. I thought this was so cute. So for this one, I believe I forgot to time it. But this one took me about an hour. This is the Squishmas Gnome by Darling Maple Designs. I used fog for the body, white for the beard, black for this and the feet, um, shell for the nose, like the skin tone color, mustard for this here, and cardinal for the red. Um, this obviously is like a little Santa gnome. I wasn't expecting them to be this tiny, but they're super cute, this tiny. Um, this obviously is supposed to look like Santa. Definitely beginner. Um, I don't think I had to do the, I think it's all single crochet other than the bobble. It was all pretty easy, and I think it's no sew, if I remember right. Yeah, it's all no sew. Like they have you make the nose with the beard is attached to the nose. So you make the nose and then you do the beard and then you start the body and you make the baubles or whatever and then you attach the nose. Again, this is one where you have to watch like where you attach it because obviously I did my baubles first before I attached my nose and it's not quite straight. It's a little this way to my baubles. So definitely pay attention. When you're adding that in, make sure you add or subtract a stitch or two, and put it in the right spot. Um, this is the free pattern for the Santa. However, in her pictures, she has a cute little snowman gnome and a reindeer gnome, that are part of her paid pattern. When you go and buy this pattern, it comes with this plus the other two. I just thought this was super cute. I always wanted to make a gnome, and I just never. Most of the gnome patterns that I found when I first started crocheting were in like acrylic yarn or like size. What is that? Size 4, size 2, I don't know, very tiny. Um, and I don't like working with that yarn. And they always had like the beard was always the acrylic yarn like brushed out. And I don't know. I never like using that yarn, so I never made a gnome until people started figuring out how to make a gnome beard in plush yarn. Um, I thought this was super cute. I can't get over how cute it is. I love it. She had a bunch of other gnomes. I think I saw some Valentine's gnomes that you will probably see in a future video. So make sure you subscribe so you can see those coming up. Um, but yeah, it makes me want to make so many more. I think he's super cute. And then after I made the gnome, I found she has a cute little Santa pattern as well. However, after having 3 patterns, actually it was 2 by the time I made this because the Christmas tree was the last pattern I did because I had to find another one since the first one was no good. Like I said, I try really hard to make it different crochet artists that do these. So Darling Maple Designs does have a super cute Santa pattern, small just like the gnome, but I figured since I made the Santa gnome by Darling Maple Designs that I would find a different Santa by a different artist. I found this. It is so cute. This little squishy Santa. This is by Coffee and Crochet, and I believe it was a YouTube um tutorial for it. I'm completely no sew. You start with the top and work your way down. The little bobble up here was surface crocheted on after, as well as this um, trim on the hat was surface crocheted after, but everything else is crocheted in as you go. The colors I used were shell for the skin color, cardinal for the red, and then of course black, mustard for the little buckle, and then white for the beard and the hat. Took me about an hour and a half, an hour and 35 minutes. Yeah, you start from the top and you go down, and it switches to like white here before you start with the skin color. Um, and then these are, what did she call them? SPS, small puff stitches, I think is what she said they were. This is a new stitch for me, but even still, I would say probably advanced beginner just because of these. Not saying that a beginner can't figure out how to make a stitch, because I mean, I've been crocheting for at least 4 years now, and this was a stitch that I've never done before. So, it all depends on the patterns you've done, whether you've ever done the stitch before. And again, I had to look it up how to do it. So, or no, I had to watch how she did it. I think that's how it was. Um, but there's nothing wrong with learning how to make new stitches. You learn something new every day. All right, moving on. We've got 2 left. This one is, I see this one everywhere. He's always all over Instagram, especially this time of year. Um, I didn't have the right color for him, but that's okay. I still wanted to do him. Is this cute little Meanie Greenie, of course, Baby Grinch, um, by, I think it's Joanna Amigurumi. On the screen, again, also in the pattern links down below. I used mint for the green and then poppy for the little heart. It took me an hour. Cute little hour long, something quick and easy, something that can go pretty cheap at your markets. Beginner, it's all single crochet with a couple bobbles. And then this is just like embroidered on like a little heart. And then the eyelids, super easy. Start from one side and work it to the other side. And then the little nose embroidered on. The hair, I know I surface crocheted it, but it might be separate. I could be wrong. I can't remember. Some patterns. Once I learned how to surface crochet, anything that's little like this that says, "Oh, make it and then sew it on," I just surface crochet it because it's easier for me. I don't know. But yeah, super easy, super quick. Go check this one out. I found this one on Instagram. And then, last but not least, this is not the first time I made this one. However, this is the first time I made it in plush yarn. Um, I don't know. I'll have to see if I can find the picture. If I found it, it's up here. But the first time I made this for my mom, I was still learning to crochet and I did it in acrylic yarn. And it was like, like, holy moly. It was holy. You could see stuffing through the stitches. And I don't know where I went wrong with that. If I was just using the wrong size hook, I was still learning. Um, but I've learned since then. Um, this one for me though, I would say definitely not child friendly just because of the way the hair is done. Um, but still super cute nonetheless. I've given these as gifts to other people, who may need this in their life. I don't know. Anyway, it's this super cute angel by Repeat Crafter Me. Um, Super cute, super easy. I would say advanced beginner just because of the hair. It's a mess. But anyway, you start from the bottom and work your way up. Then you make your arms and sew them on. The head is sewn on, however, I'm bad. I didn't sew the head on. I just kept crocheting and I did it. I did it my way. But the head is sewn on, the arms are sewn on, and the wings are sewn on. Everything is super easy on the little halo, which I don't know why. It looks a lot bigger in the picture, but it's also done in acrylic yarn. So, I don't know. And her pattern also the hair was braided, but I was having a very hard time braiding the plush yarn. So I just put it in this cute little ponytail and pulled it back. And yes, I don't know if you can tell, but I burned my ends so that my ends won't shed. um, but yeah, I love this pattern more for adults, more for a gift. This is a little less, and there are other angel patterns out there that have like the hair on the head, where you crochet the hair instead of just because this you can't really see it, but she has you cut like these 18-inch strands of yarn, and then you pull it through and basically put the ends through the loop and then pull so it's like tied on to the head itself. Um, Super cute. I've done it before where it's braided. Obviously, I did it in acrylic where it was braided. I like it, but yeah, it's definitely an older pattern. We need more upgraded patterns. But anyway, um, super cute. I love all of this. I had so much fun. Hold on. But anyway, that's 10 patterns. I can't believe I went through 10 patterns that fast. All super cute. I had so much fun making this video for y'all. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me today. And I hope you found some fun new patterns to go try out for this winter Christmas season. If you liked today's video, make sure you hit the button that looks like this. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any future content. I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.